girls. Welcome, everybody, to the Madison County Board of Commissioners regular business meeting, July 26, 2021 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank God. Miss Margie, good to see you. Zach on vacation?
He's on his way back.
From vacation?
Yeah, he went to Chicago with his daughter for an event.
That's right, that's right.
They kind of made a vacation out of it.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to have you. Haven't seen you, well, accidentally run into you at the other meeting, but I still haven't seen you in a long time. I'm proud to have you here tonight. In front of you, gentlemen, you have the minutes from June 28th special call meeting, minutes from June 28th regular business meeting, minutes July 12th agenda setting work session, minutes from July 19th special called meeting, and minutes from July 19th special called meeting. I would ask for one motion to adopt all the minutes. Take you a couple minutes to look over them. If nobody sees any discrepancies, I'll ask for a motion.
Move the minutes be approved.
I have a motion by Mr. Chandler,
Second.
second by Mr. Adams, all in favor. We'll start with Brian.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Motion approved to adopt the minutes. And business involving guest groups or multiple visitors. Anybody have anything?
No particular business, just introduction. I'd like to introduce Mr. Nathaniel Whip. He's a summer intern, so he's here to see one of the other things that I do other than just on the farm.
All right. So,
How do you get an intern?
yeah,
I need to
how
know
do you
that.
get an intern?
Nathaniel Whip, N-A-T-H-A-N-A-E-L.
We've adopted minutes, Mike, that's all we're doing.
All right, we'll go back.
He's from Nashville, Tennessee.
You know the bad part is, I never looked up.
Has been a pleasure.
It's okay, I should have been here.
No, that's my fault. So you're from Nashville, young man?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to God's country. Well, you got a fine boss man you're interning with, so proud to have you. Next time, bring more friends. There's plenty of openings down here.
Yes, sir.
Is there any business involving guest groups or multiple visitors? All right, hearing none. Statement remarks from citizens on tonight's agenda items. Some of you's here on different agenda items, and I'll let you speak then, because none of them is in-depth enough to have to speak first. We'll probably answer most of your questions when we get into it. Well, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I can't see it or something. Now I can see how to do that. All right, chairman's report. So, first off, y'all have a page in front of you from Andrew Kitchens. This is the director over at MOAS. And the reason I give you these numbers is to show over the previous years and where we're at already. So we have a cat intake fluctuation, big time. Mr. Kitchens has come to me and asked me would I adjust this year's budget in adding a line item to spade and neuter, and I told him that that would be a fine idea. We will put that line item on there so it can be monitored, and it may be a rollover line item for any money unused, but he would like for anything that comes into the shelter before it goes out for adoption. Some people pay, some people can't, but we're just trying to hold off these numbers. If you'll look at it right here, year to date this year, today's 7/26, and we got close to 700 cats that's come into that facility. That's about 100 a month, and it's getting away from us.
Who's the second number?
Yeah, so the second number, oh, that's total animals. That's total animals. Like in 2020, you had 1,322 cats. Well, then there was 812 other animals. It could have been everywhere from bunny rabbits to hamsters to dogs to you name it.
So about 60% of it is cats.
Exactly. And that's the reason I give you all these numbers, just so y'all know what I'm doing. All right, secondly, had a meeting this morning myself, County Attorney, Mr. Michael Pruitt, with Dan Horn and Bob Seville. Dan Horn represents Chastain and Associates, and Bob Seville and Company. This is to go over our, you all will get an opportunity to vote on this next Monday night, August 2nd. But this was a preliminary go over to explain our liability insurance, property liability insurance. And before you, I don't know if you have a copy of this or not. Okay, no problem. So we are currently being advised to swap companies. You did do the back sheet, didn't you? This sheet?
No, I was gonna give them that next meeting.
Oh, okay. So anyway, just letting y'all know that we met today, with council involved, and potentially we have a savings of about $38,400 by making that move. If anybody'd like to look over it, you're more than welcome. That's the three companies that's been offered. And y'all will have, and I'm here basically tonight just to, try to answer any questions about our casualty and liability policy. I was real impressed with Dan and them to take the initiative to feel like that their current insurance company was getting a little out of hand on the pricing, and took it upon themselves to go shopping, and it paid off. So I was really pleased with Dan and them's hard work on that deal.
So you'll have that in our box so we can.
This is what he's gonna present Monday night.
Yeah, he will be here to present it.
Okay.
But in case y'all had any questions, because this is about a 3 or 4 hour presentation this morning, he won't be able to do that.
Yeah, we'll get a copy of the box
I'll
before.
scan an email.
Sure.
Okay, that'd be great. That way I can look at it beforehand.
Just something, I don't know if it's in here, but the company they're recommending us go with, we were actually with for many years before we went with the one we're with now. Really the only reason we switched is the agent at that time lost their ability to write truck insurance with that particular company. But yeah, we've got Bob Seville, who owns the property in the county here. He's also new on board, and he put this package together. And I've worked with Trident and Argonaut a lot over the years, so I'm comfortable with the carrier.
That's good.
On the very back page, and this was pretty impressive. In 2011, we had a premium of $185,000. In 2021, or we'll just say 2020 is $225,000. So that's not a drastic increase. They've done a good job of keeping up with the numbers, but it would have spiked in 21 had they not had made that move.
What was all of this cover?
Vehicles,
Yeah,
buildings.
vehicles,
This is all your
equipment,
property and liability. This is pretty much everything
Everything
except
but
health.
health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything we know.
And I have a breakdown of every vehicle, of every building, and all in the office. He'll probably give y'all copies of that when he comes. I just know we went line by line today,
Oh, yeah.
and it was real extensive, and I knew y'all didn't want to spend that in a meeting of 4 hours. All right, let's see.
Todd, if you would.
Sure.
And I know we've got a week to do it, that shouldn't be a problem, but we go through this every year also. If we could do just a quick audit of county vehicles and equipment to make sure that things that are gone are off the list and things
Oh,
we've
yeah.
purchased
We do.
are on
They
the
started,
list.
yeah.
That was started today also. We give Alan the current list, and I'll tell you, and Rhonda knows, because she deals with it every day, every time we purchase a vehicle or sell a vehicle, that's the first phone call we make, to get it insured, and the other one took off if it sells.
Rod and Dan have developed a good working relationship over the years, so they keep that list updated every
And
day.
then at this time of year, every year, we do the audit.
Yeah.
So you can't retire.
No, Christina's gonna do it.
Seems like, what about me, y'all?
Every year, we do the audit.
No pressure on you.
We haven't told you about that yet.
It's one of your other duties as a sign right there.
And just for the board knows and for the public, myself and Dennis attended 2 courses offered by ACCG last week. Human Resource and Law,
Government law.
Government Law. Christina, she went to Human Resources and Clerk Training, and then Tracy Dake also went for an ACCG. Human Resources training. There's more training coming. Still gotta get that date nailed down for P&Z.
Working on it.
I know you are. Based on the emails, you're working on a whole lot of stuff. So,
Yeah, it's all right. Get me on my ducks.
all right?
On the clock.
Yeah. It's just gotta be done. So, anybody have any questions or comments on what I've said so far? If not, I'll move into old business, because I skipped that a minute ago. All right, hearing none. Consider approving a new survey for Danielsville Volunteer Fire Department and going out for sealed bid. I think both of these are the same. Consider approving new survey for Collins Volunteer Fire Department and going out for sealed bid. We can do these in one motion. The questions that we had in the work session has been addressed. The lot lines was cleaned up by Mr. Harvin. And I think we met everything Derek had asked for.
I make a motion to proceed with
The deeding of the, I'm sorry, no,
well,
going out to seal bid.
going out for sale bid,
Yes.
proper way to do it.
I have a motion by Mr. Kurt to move forward with.
Both of them.
Both of them.
Second motion.
I have a second by Mr. Chandler. Dennis?
Yes.
Or any discussion? Hearing none. Dennis,
Yes.
Yes.
move forward, going out to seal bid. Do y'all understand what that is? Okay.
Ms. Rhonda, may I ask, before
Sure.
I forget, did you get that other survey for me?
I
Is it
think
Is it over here?
I folded it the way you folded the.
Oh, okay, that is the one you gave me. Thank you, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Make sure you got Danielsville and Collins, right?
Make sure, yes, here's the other one, okay, thank you.
Here's two big ones.
I've got two big ones there. I got the two confused.
So did I.
Jackson, Linda T. Robinson has the property behind you. You do know that easement right there will have to be recorded for her to have access to her property? Okay. I feel like you're on top of that, I just wanna make sure you know. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Consider approving a resolution to abandon a portion of Burke Leachman Road.
Mr. Pruitt, do you think any of those, our legal requirements yet to be done to fulfill all the requirements?
No, we have fulfilled all those requirements. What we do need to do tonight, so this is what the date we advertised for our public hearing, so if the chairman would open up for a public hearing, if there is anybody here to speak
Sure.
on it, and then you can close that and vote.
That's fine, I have no problem with that. I will ask to open the public hearing in case anybody's here to speak on behalf, and I know you two gentlemen are here.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you for the opportunity to address this, and I thank you, Terry, for spearheading this effort. So I'm the owners of the property on that, the property that gets vandalized. So it's a small portion of the road. All the other neighbors, we're all in agreement that they've been wanting to do this for years, but it was shot down, I think maybe from the previous owner. But anyway, we want to close it and stop the vandalism and just retain that piece of property. That's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Michael Cleveland, 775 Chandler Road. I have just recently purchased some property from John, 5 acres on the back part. And actually it affects me now because that road is just part of my property. I don't think the road's ever been a legal easement from what I can understand. And as we did our plat, it clearly shows that the road is all over my property. So I really appreciate you guys closing that for us. Thank you for the opportunity.
And it's Michael Cleveland.
Yes,
Services?
Michael
Okay.
Cleveland.
Thank you.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else on this? I'll close the public hearing, reopen the meeting. I'll ask for a motion.
Chairman, I move we proceed with abandonment of this portion of Burke Beechwood Road as presented in this document.
I have a motion by Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Kirk. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, before they vote, could we add to that motion and authorize the chairman and clerk to offer to execute quitclaim deeds to the property owners?
That'd be fine.
Add that, please.
You second that?
I second
All right.
Okay, authorize chairman and clerk to do what with the quitclaim?
Execute quitclaim
Execute
deeds,
quitclaim.
yeah. And, assuming this is approved, which together will be, I'll prepare those and get those to y'all, and then we'll get them recorded, and then y'all get them.
Is there anything to deed?
Well, that's one reason it's a quitclaim. It's not clear, you're right, I mean, it's not clear what's there, but
Right.
the quitclaim is saying, to the extent the county has any interest in it.
Sure.
You get it now.
Thank you.
All right.
Quitclaim.
Mr. Chandler,
Yes, yes.
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 motion approved.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Consider conveying the cemetery portion only of the county-owned parcel D003-011 to the city of Dansville. Motion to have survey prepared. This is, I need an initiation process to have, our county surveyor, Mr. Harvin, go up and survey out the church from the cemetery property in hopes to retain the church and deed the cemetery to the city.
So this would not do anything, this would not constitute any conveyance, just a matter of going ahead and
Survey only.
and I would put that in the form of motion to go ahead and proceed with that. I asked the chairman of the board, in my mind, there's several questions to the city of, I'd love for the city of Dansville to answer for us. If they were the recipient of an endowment of $60,000 back in 1970 or something, then I would love to see an accounting of those funds, how they have been invested, what has been used, and what their plan would be to assure us that that cemetery is going to be appropriately taken care of.
Okay. We can have those documents drawn up. Right now, this motion would be just to move forward with the survey. Both parcels still retains with us at this point.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Chandler, second by Dennis.
Yes.
Any discussion?
You already know.
All right, I'm still learning this part here. Because Derek's not here to correct me. So, okay, no discussion, Derek, yes.
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 Motion carried. So, Mr. Harvin, thank you, sir.
I have to get with you to find out exactly what you're looking for.
I understand. No problem. Consider adopting a broadband ready committee ordinance. Consider adding, I'm gonna combine 9 and 10 because they run,
And
9, 10, and 11 are consecutive. Consider adopting a broadband ready community ordinance. Consider adding broadband amendment to comprehensive plan. Consider approving a resolution amending the comprehensive plan to include broadband amendments. So, as we've spoken in the past, this just lets us adopt our current comprehensive plan to add the wording of broadband, so we are eligible to be a broadband community. Our new permanent will be in the 2022 version whenever it gets drawn up. So, with that being said, I would ask for a motion to adopt items 9, 10, and 11 consecutively. One motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Adam, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Kirk. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Adam,
Yes.
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 motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, because that's one step closer to getting all this paperwork done. And that's really all this is. Consider amending section 6-65 and 6-66 of the alcohol beverage ordinance regarding the new and renewal application fee. And this is the $50 that the GBI requires us to pass along
Well, the GBI requires fingerprinting.
which cost us $50, yes. This is a complete wash. This is not a moneymaker to the county, it's just covering the expense to the county for somebody to come in and apply for a beer wine license.
Move this amendment be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Chandler, second by Mr. Kirk. Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Chandler.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll clear up more paperwork. All right, new business. Item 13, discuss moving forward with the adoption of Serenity Lane. I know that's what you're here for.
Tim?
Yeah. I was fixing to say something else, but that's right, Tim. I'm gonna ask to strike this from tonight's agenda. There's a reason. One of the property owners, we have all the consents from everyone in writing, all the way back to like 1984, I think, is that right? We just have to verify that the same property owners from 84 that signed it is the same property owners as of today, and then you have that one, it's just a formality. And then the other property owner at the entrance of Serenity Lane, I want an opportunity to sit down with that gentleman and discuss. By striking this from tonight's agenda, does not mean it's dead, it just needs, I need another week or so. That's what that means.
Okay.
This process, it's moving forward, we just gotta find the best path to move forward.
I got you.
Do you have contact for Ricky Grizzle? Do you have contact information for Mr. Grizzle, who owns that property there?
No, I mean,
I'll find him.
If you got a neighbor or somebody that's got a phone number, I appreciate it.
Okay.
That's our negotiator. We're gonna send him out. He's the calmest head, how about that? Now, I know the goal will be achieved.
Okay.
All right. I knew it was gonna be a good one tonight. Road updates. Mr. Bryan, got anything?
No, I think we've done some, good job. I know that some have been brought to attention. I know that one road was brought to attention, and I actually drove through there, and I know that y'all looked at it, you looked at it, and Alan looked at it. One of the things, it looks like that where the ditches weren't done, had been, killed and all that, but they hadn't been pulled out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to explain to some folks that we don't have multiple ditch crews, and so it takes a while for some of that stuff to get done. And also, one of the things that we're looking at is, when I went through there, I was sort of appalled at the amount of old tires and trash in that area. And so, you know, it's one of those things that a lot of that stuff is been up in the woods and all that kind of stuff, and down on the roadside. And, you know, it's that road, we need to, I don't know what to say, but I sort of admonish the folks on the road to help us to try to keep it in a better situation, because if when we pull the ditches out, it's gonna take a crew to go in there and just clean up the trash and stuff that's in there. So, you know, it's one of those things, when you start looking at your road situation, if we got some where there's been a lot of trash and stuff like that's being thrown out on it, we need to get with, let Todd know, or some of us know, so that we can also get with our new code enforcement officer, so that we can start to look at some of these situations and see if there's anything that he can do and help us with to try to get some of that stuff cleaned up on some of these roads, especially if they're making trash dumps and things like that on them. So, you know, that's the only thing I wanted to sort of give my little, as Derek calls it, my little rant for today.
That's fine, that's fine. You know, it goes a long way to have citizens, be proactive in their communities and wanna see something better for communities. And I know the citizens that live there is not the ones dumping the
No,
trash.
I know
I
that.
totally get it, and I did reply back, that one road turned into 4 or 5 others. The good part was the majority of them didn't know, but already was on the schedule to
Right.
come. And I'll get to that in just a second. Mr. Adams?
Yeah, I have two. One, you and I talked about, I mentioned at the last meeting, and I talked to some folks on the road and talked to Christine also about Jones Road. I talked to Alan. Anyway, there's some, number one, obviously it needs some attention. It needs some serious attention. There's some question about what the right of way actually is. One of the residents of the road told me that back during Wesley Nash's administration, that everybody had released that to be a 30-foot right of way. If that's the case, then we have room to come into work. Where that road is situated, it's not greatly used, and I want to talk to the neighbors down through there and see if they may want to abandon a portion of it, just let one end of it be the driveway to serve one residence, and everybody else just go out the other way. I don't know where that will go, but I will discuss that as we're getting into it. But everybody's aware that that road is issues. We just need to work on what's the best solution to it. And the other one's Timberlane Trail. And I was just curious if we had a date or if we had an idea when we think we're going to get on that.
Yes.
So I get the same questions.
Yeah. So, good old Facebook, Facebook Messenger. So that one road turned into about 5 or 6.
And I just want to make a statement too, since Jackson especially is here. The Roy Woods Road, we've been talking about that because it's a constant issue with some of that down there, and just because of the location and how that road is. But, you know, we're looking at how we can address and do some things better with that. I talked to Alan, and I know Todd's been involved with that, so we're working on it.
So I put out a post today, on Facebook, because that seems to be the best way to get in touch with a lot of people. Feel free, I don't mind reading it to y'all, but I tried to explain the road situation and how proud I am of the guys of the job they're able to do with what they had to work with as far as manpower. So my report, Bertha Willis, which is adjacent to New Hope, they just finished New Hope Church Road. Bertha Willis Road and Duckworth Brown, they all run together right there. That'll be completed either Wednesday or Thursday. Friday, they will start Jones Road. I think Alan did find some information for you and got that because Jones is where they're headed next.
Okay, good.
They will leave Jones Road and go to Hilly Road. So there's been several that we've looked at just today and Friday based off of that Facebook post, and nobody's making it up. Luckily, I got the point across of, if you'll just let me know where they're at, we will be more than happy to take care of it. And people's has been very respectful. There's no negative in any of these comments. Once I've said, that's on the list, or that's coming, or we're fixing to start that one tomorrow, you'll be surprised how many people just say thank you. They just want to make sure that they're heard, and they are heard. And I've encouraged everybody to call the commissioners and or call me. I have no problem with that. So we fixed the ditches and applied gravel on Adams Road, Phillips Road, and Mize Road. Patched culverts at Home and Autry on Highway 29. Called in for a basin study on this road because that road's got some basin issues right there. As soon as we get more information, we'll look about replacing that basin if need be. The sidearm is headed to Planet Gomes Road today. They're headed towards Black Creek Church Road. Just keep your eye out for them. Mowing crews, they just finished up around the Culver Danielsville Road area, and we'll start a school. They will head towards Pioli, Comer, and Carlton areas. Second crew mowing on the Sanford area on Moons Grove Road today, and will be headed towards the Hull Culver area. Patching have been bag patching, major holes everywhere. Trying to shuffle people to get the patch wagon out for a few days, patching holes all over the county. Roads on the next lineup is Jones Road, and part of Roy Woods Road is also on the schedule. Motor grader, we've got that thing running. We've actually got two, and they're running constantly. The good part is we're doing it right by pulling the ditches first. We used to, we would scrape the road, put gravel on the road. Now we're pulling the ditch first, then building the road. For anybody that's not been down, White Fence Road, or that one we just completed, Staple Road, go look at these roads. You'll see what you see there is what all of them will eventually look like. And I got good news at 5 o'clock today, 5:30 today. Stratton Brothers paving starts tomorrow. Paving starts tomorrow. They're starting on Forest Lane in Colbert, and they're making a big old loop around the county. Planet Gunnels, all these patches where they replaced the pipes from last year, when I think they had 9 or 10 washout, all those are getting paved in 2021. It's on the schedule to be done. So I've sent that out to everyone. I think that pretty well wraps up the road updates.
Todd, I did think one
Yeah.
that was in that chain of comments was the Sunray Hatchery Road.
Correct,
About
yes.
pulling the ditches on it.
Yes, sir. I've already sent that request in also. Alan wrote it today also and said it definitely needs it. And he was a little more dramatic about Jones Road. He said, yeah, it's rough. So Timberland Trail. The deal is with Timberland Trail is because that road is in such bad shape, and it is a right-of-way issue also, that we're just about, in your mind, envision having to start completely over. There's no way to salvage any of
That's
it.
terrible.
The cobbled up asphalt on that road, it's bad. I'd hate to say that it's a paved road, because it's just that bad. So, the game plan for that is to work through the fall on starting with the right-of-ways and the ditches, and going, I'd like to try to leave the base down to get us through the wintertime rains, and then that way got everything completely done, and all we have to do is mill up the old asphalt come spring, and then put the new asphalt back down and have everything done. But it is a fall project, and it is 2021 fall project, not 2022.
Some of the same issue you addressed occurs on that road as well. I actually have gone up there and picked up tires myself. It's pretty bad.
Keep in mind, and Timberland being one of them, people says their driveways is washing out, and it's washing across the road onto the neighbors' driveways. If your driveway is at a 50-degree angle and it's dirt and gravel, it's eventually gonna be just dirt, and then it's gonna be just mud, and you be mindful of your neighbors that you're crossing onto their property. And we do have a new subdivision. A gentleman come in and met with us the other day. He has a major water runoff problem, and drains wasn't put in adequately by the developer, but the developer's got engineers out there looking at how to fix it. So we understand the frustrations. And Margie, you're welcome to go look at that Facebook post I put out there. I've done it on my personal one, but it's just basically telling everybody, we hear you, we're working on them as fast as we can, and nobody's dragging around, I promise. And we're not hearing that. I'm telling you, it's really, really good. People have been very respectful.
Can I get a copy of that list that you went through while ago?
Yeah. So
Or
we'll have
email it to me.
I can do that too.
Okay.
These will be monthly. Every month, I'm gonna give you a road update, because I think the citizens need to know where they're going, where they've been, and what's coming up for the future. I will say August 2nd is gonna be a big meeting. You have several guests coming to speak. Yes, Dennis?
Yeah, related to the road work, you mentioned millings. When one of our contractors does mill the surface of the road, are we retaining that somewhere and stockpiling it? Because, you know, you can get someone to come in and grind that product, and then let's turn around and use it on some of the dirt roads too.
Yes, sir.
If we got a place for that.
Yes, sir.
And at the end of the day, it'll save us some money on grinding, because the millings will bind back together some.
Yep. And some of the roads we have, perfect. One of them that I didn't mention only because I didn't have it in my notes here, but that's Wagner Grove Church Road. That road is, that road's gotta have some serious attention. It's,
Did our bush hogs ever get down there? Did our bush hogs ever get down there?
I think so. Don't quote me on it until I physically double check. The problem with that road is somebody went in and cut the roads in, so the banks is a lot higher than the road, so everything that washes, it has nowhere to go. So it's not as drastic as Timberlane, but it's gonna need some serious attention, but, I told Alan today when he left, I'm sorry, cause I gave him a list of like 12 roads. And he says, no problem, we'll get it, and they have. And I'm appreciative that that's the kind of feedback I get from our road department. Any remarks from citizens? Statements or remarks from citizens? All right. Statement and remarks from commissioners.
I just want to make one quick one. I appreciate, we got one gentleman here that was with the fire departments today, had a little, training exercise with Williams, pipeline, and, it went well. We learned some things that we can improve on, and we, found some things that maybe Williams can help us with, and the state can help us with too, with some training that we didn't know about. So I just want to tell all the firemen, I appreciate them doing that. I was out there with them today on probably one of the hottest days of the year, and we had one fireman that did get sort of, I guess, heat exhaustion and had to get a little IVs and stuff. But I appreciate them doing it, because the volunteer firemen are doing it and they don't get paid. So, you know, we all should appreciate them in Madison County.
Agreed, 100%. And that was not a little training today. It was a big training. I would say Williams Pipeline probably had they probably had 50 or 75 of their employees from all across the country there.
Yeah.
55.
Huh?
55.
55?
It was a big thing for them.
It was an involvement not only from our fire departments, our volunteer fire departments, but our EMS, and the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
It was a mock training of an explosion if a car ran off the road and hit like a mini substation for the power, and they just happened to be one over here by the school, by the elementary school. And what would you do scenario? And it's tough, it's challenging, and I was in meetings all morning, but I caught the tail end of it in the recap session at Gina Bell's, which housed everybody today for food, and it was very good. Williams treated everybody. But I tell you, when you have a day, I don't know what the temperature made it to today, it might have got to 100. You put that turnout gear on, what is it, 40+ degrees?
Yeah.
So, from a public's perspective, when you see these volunteer firemen, stop and buy a pack of Gatorade. Spend your $20 on Gatorade for these guys. These guys, I mean, you hear me harp on it all the time, how I feel like they're underappreciated. But today was a rough day. You can only imagine being in a pair of triple overalls. Technically, what turnout gear is pretty heavy. What does it weigh, Jason?
Probably 15 pounds, 20 pounds.
Yeah, with a no-mix hood, and then you got your air pack
A
on the back.
45-pound air pack on.
Yeah, and we had all that stuff on it. If you had a situation there with the you know, natural gas, and especially there to school there, it becomes quite a scenario, and they want to make it realistic, and so you know, we probably could have utilized a lot more people, but that's one thing I want to point out, the folks that weren't getting paid that was in the room. We had a room full of people. The only ones that didn't get paid today was the volunteer firemen, and you know,
And they were the hottest,
Hardest
working,
working,
every bit of it,
and
as
did-
usual,
As
as
usual.
usual.
And so I just appreciate them, and I just wanted everybody to know that and make a record of how appreciative we are of all the training. That people don't realize that it's not just going to the fires, it's training for that. And if something did happen over there on the pipeline, we got 2 pipelines that run through Madison County.
Three.
If something happens.
Three.
Yeah, that's right, we do have 3. I forgot about the other. But, yeah, those, that go through the county, and if something happens, you know, we got folks that are knowledgeable and know what to do, and, you know, if you didn't, there could be a huge loss of life and property.
Was the sheriff's department involved in that like today?
Yeah, the sheriff's department was involved, some of the, we had some issues with,
Like
probably
boundaries.
some pre-planning issues, but some of those were on Williams' part, and maybe some of them were on our part, but we learned a lot today. I think that's one thing we can say, is everybody learned a lot and, make some changes. We know where we can make some changes and all that, and that's what the idea is you simulate it and then learn from it, and that was.
The reason I ask that question, particularly when you get around the school, anytime something like that happens and the word gets out, then all of a sudden the track, because mom will start to come picking up kids, and
Yeah.
it gets to be
Yeah.
a real additional problem other than the emergency, it gets to be an
Yeah.
additional problem.
Yeah, and that, you know, Williams sort of handled that, and I guess they sort of kept it as quiet as they could because they didn't want, but school had orientation going on today. And so I think they told all the folks as they came in this Danville Elementary that what was going on so that it didn't get people alerted. And so, and that was some of the things we talked about today too, is that we did this, how do we make sure that we don't cause issues like a whole bunch of people start showing up down there.
Mike, do we have any, reason for executive session?
No, sir.
Anybody have anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So,
Who said that?